Houston, we have a problem.
Alright, so one of the other things that this car had an issue with, announced from the auction, which is another reason why I bought it super cheap, is that it said it had a rough idle. Now these LS3 motors are some of the most, if not the most reliable LS motor built out of all the numbers 1, 6, 2, 7, 9, blah blah blah. So I was just like, man, it's super rare to hurt this car. You know, obviously the transmission wasn't moving. My bet on this car was that because it was sat 11,700 miles since 2008 was actually worse for this car than if it had 100,000 miles on it, was driving every day. It had been maintained. A nice gentleman, one owner, I'm sure, or woman, owned this car, drove it on the weekends, on Sundays, whatever, and just sat a long time in between. Batteries died, plastics and rubbers broke. So I, in a previous lifetime, used to be a tuner. I built a lot of Corvettes, and I mean a lot of them, thousands over the course of almost 20 years. So that was a whole nother lifetime ago, but I still have I still remember, you know, a few tricks, and I still have all the software. So we pulled out my HP Tuner software, and I'm going to hook up what they call a dongle to the car, and we're going to pull the file out of the car, we're going to pull the tune out of the car, we're going to scan the car, and we're going to see what cylinder, if any, are misfiring. We're going to see if it's a plug, a wire, a coil pack, bad fuel maybe because the car sits, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. The car runs and drives. I drove it around after I put the shifter bushing in between me shooting here, and it runs and drives fine, but at idle you do have a little bit of a rough idle. So it could just be original spark plugs are just cooked. One of the plug wires or a couple of the plug wires could just be dry rotted and corroded and cracked. And so we're going to narrow it down to individual cylinder, turn the cylinders on and off. We're going to turn the misfires on, and we're going to be able to read what cylinder has the most misfires, and then we'll be determined which cylinder to look at. I will end up just putting all new plugs and wires in the car, but if it has a bad fuel injector or it has bad fuel, this will help me determine that. So let's get to work. All right, so first thing we do is we take this cable, this OBD2 port cable, as you can see, and then right underneath the dashboard here, I won't go down between to show you, but kind of just down in this general area, plug it in, right? Make sure it's nice and secure. Follow the cable back up. It's already connected to the dongle piece here, and then we take the USB cable, right? Like, trying to do everything with one hand is not easy. All right, we connect it to the top, and then the USB side goes right into the USB on the computer. Get a ding to the ding, and that's it. So what we could do is pull the file out first and go from there. So let's do that. So we put the car into accessory mode, right? Let me show you. Push and hold the button down, goes to accessory mode, and then the green circle comes on, which basically activates the car without it running. I always automatically just turn the automatic headlights off so we don't drain the battery. We go back over here, go to the retrieve the read vehicle, we hit read, and it's going to start pulling the file out of the car. And you can see here, it gives me the VIN, it gives me the 2008 Chevy Corvette, and you know, it takes about 2 minutes or so, so I'm going to turn the camera off in the meantime. All right, so finally, after 4 or 5 minutes, it finished downloading. So you can see here, all we're going to do is we're going to save it, not to get too nerdy techie on computer stuff, but yeah, I got a little table. Did dealer cars. Oh, that's head and cam. Actually, we'll go back here. Dealer cars, and we're going to label it 2008 orange C6 Vert stock, right? So you open up that, you go down here to where we're going to name it pulled tune, go over here to save, and there it is. It's going to upload it into the system, into the laptop, and now here's all my calibration. So I could go to the engine, What do you want to make it idle at? We can idle at what's the spark table. You want to here, go to high octane table, and you can see here at let's just call it in the idle range here, 0 to 40 up to, let's say, 1600 RPM. You see it's 30 to 40 degrees of timing. Wide open throttle is the bottom right over here, 4, 5, 6,000 RPM. And, well, this stock motor, so in the 70s to 90s is going to be, so it's got 26 degrees of timing at the hit, bows down to 21, and it curves back up. And I think you can go to, let me see here, you can kind of see, instead of seeing that graph, you can see the lines. You can see how it kind of goes in and bounds out and comes back up. So you can see it like in the 3D model as well. So yeah, but that's the calibration. So let's go through it and see now that we have it out. All right, so we open up the VCM scanner, which is the other side of the scanning software of HP Tuner software. And what we do is we go ahead and start the car. It's idling. It's got a flat tire. We can worry about that later. Right? That's what's flashing. You can, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but the car, it has a miss. Like, can you hear that? It revs up and it's good. It's just, it's like it's got bad gas or a bad plug wire or something. So we can go ahead and connect to the vehicle. I know there's like a reflection, but so I'm sorry about that. Now we can start scanning. So first, right off the bat, the fuel trims are ridiculous. So obviously, I'm sure one or both of the O2s are bad, which could be the problem. So we can go here to the check engine light. Let's read DTCs. See what we have going on. So no DTCs at the current time, no check engine light, whatever. We'll clear them regardless. So let's go to controls and special functions, fuel system, engine idle, airflow, exhaust, spark, fuel. These are all the things that we can do. See, watch, we can disable. See the idle drop? Those are working. That's working. That's working. Turn off each individual injector. Oh, hold on. Injector number 5 didn't make a difference. Injector 6 did. And 7 didn't. 8 did. Right off the bat, injector number 5 and injector number 7 don't make a dang difference. It doesn't make a difference when I turn them on or off. Because watch what happens when I hit 8. I'm not doing that. The motor bogs way down. But watch when I go to 7. On, off, nothing. So 5 and 7 are not working. Injectors 5 and 7 are not working. So let's reset the fuel trims, see what happens here. I think this car's got bad gas. See, the fuel trims are starting to go off. Maybe we need to go underneath the hood and pull and look at the clips for injectors 5 and 7 and see what's going on. So let's go do that. All right, so I came outside the car. I got my laptop set up here. It's still hooked up, but I shut the car off so just to keep the heat from going. I pulled off the fancy cover. It's got the you know, the matching engine cover package, which is kind of nice actually. It looked really nice. I went and pulled this cover off because it's got like this thing you got to get around the fuel line. It's just hard to do by myself holding the camera. So I'm going to come down here, cylinder 1, 3, 5, and 7. and I'm going to check out the injector clips. And these are the injector clips. I got my phone here for the light. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but anyways, this is the injector clip right there. And the wiring looks halfway decent, but let's just pull it apart. See, that's the injector clip. I mean, an injector doesn't look like it's glued up or gummed up or anything, but let's just reseat it. The wiring looks good too, not crimped or burnt or anything. So let's plug that back in. A nice crimp to it. And let's do that here on the back one as well. There we go. You can see that doesn't look too bad either. Oh, hold on, is that a oh no, it's just dirt. I thought it was open. So yeah, so let's just get the shine light down there, and all that looks normal. So let's go ahead and plug that back in as well. Get a good clip. There, good. Heard it. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this, but I went ahead and opened the laptop, and I got the chart going, the different gauges and setup. And now you can see here, cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 8 are now the ones misfiring. So we got 5 and 7 clicked in, so now I'm going to check those cylinders, and you see how they reset. So cylinder 2 and 8 are the ones running the misfire. So 2 and 8. So that's the other side. So let me unplug those and plug those back in and see what we get. All right, so it's really come down to cylinders 2 and 8. I went ahead and just, because it's hard to do with holding the camera, I went ahead and unplugged the coil packs, and I unplugged the injectors, and they were intermittently working. And I'm just really not, I think one's ghosting the other, and it has a big plug wire coil pack. I'm gonna lean towards the fuel. So I pulled this little Schrader valve off right here, and inside of here is a Schrader, like you would have a fill tire on a fill up. You see how you can get fuel out of there? And it smells rank as shit. I mean, it just smells like it's been in there since 2008. So I might just go drive it a little bit and see if we can't get it to clean out a little bit. Let me take it for a drive and see if it detonates, see if the cylinders pick up, and let's go do that real quick. Drive in the neighborhood, top down. You can hear that mess. And looking at the screen, under load, it's definitely doing it. Before 5 and 7 were the ones, and then messing with those injector clips, I got them working, and then oh, see, now we got, yeah, they're just ghosting. It's 2 and 8 is my problem. So let's go park it. Let's call it a night. All right. So I don't know if you could see it on camera, but we easily figured out the problem on this Corvette. Do you see this stuff? Do you see this honeycomb? You see that? Look at that. Me revving it up here in the shop before I drove it out. Guess what? I would bet you the cost of this Corvette, that the passenger side, yeah, the passenger side cylinders 2 and 8, the catalytic converter is destroyed. Look at the honeycomb. This is what this is. This is all catalytic converter. It's completely clogged, and it literally just degraded, blew it apart. So that side of the motor is completely choked up, and it literally just flew right out of the exhaust. You can see the dust right there. So I think the injectors are good. I think the fuel is okay, even though it smelled it didn't smell that great. We're still gonna put fresh fuel in it, obviously. I think the problem is gonna be that cat. So obviously we can either change that cat. If I don't already have, I think I might have a bunch of sets of stock cats. I'll check. If not, I can either just change that one on the one side, or maybe it's time for a set of headers. What do you think? Put some headers on it, get rid of the cats. Here in Florida, we don't have emissions, off-road use only, of course, but You guys, I bought this car for way under wholesale value because everyone was scared of it, and I just knew that 11,000 mile car would be sweet. You just got to make sure you know your brand and know what the problem is. I fixed the shifter today. We got the car scanned, obviously get the tune out. I mean, she found out that the cat was bad. That was a misfire. So on the convertible top, by indexing the windows because the battery was dead. You know, the seller just has so much volume of cars, they don't know what's going on, they just drop it off. This doesn't work, that doesn't work, figure it out. They're missing out on thousands and thousands of dollars.